Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. You already know what I'll be making, but I will be making a cake from the movie Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is by far my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. I will say as a kid, I love Totoro. I made a Cat Plus Totoro cake for my last video. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. My favorite lighthearted Studio Ghibli is probably The Cat Returns because I'm a big cat person and it's just an awesome, funny movie. But by far, like in terms of movies that I would rewatch until the end of time and that had such a really big impact on me as a kid was Princess Mononoke. And I won't be making her, but I will be making her mom or her adoptive mom, who is Moro. Moro is a wolf god. In the world of the Princess Mononoke movie, a lot of the animals were still gods at this time and were highly intelligent and could understand and speak the human language. And she ended up adopting Princess Mononoke, aka San, when her parents discarded her because they feared the wolves and they kind of offered up their daughter as a sacrifice so that they can make their getaway. Yeah, super messed up. But I just loved her. She was really intimidating and she looked super powerful. And I thought, you know, it's a great cake opportunity. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with the sketch, I divided the paper in half. I wanted to do two perspectives. I did a top view and a side view, just because I had never sculpted a wolf head before and I wanted to get a better idea of how they're supposed to look. I had way more fun doing the side view because I could really make her toothy smile come out. To be honest, I was not really happy with the sketch, but you know, it's just to get an idea of what I'm supposed to do, so let's soldier on. The cake sponge color I decided to go with was a darker purple. It actually didn't work out that way, unfortunately, but I was still okay with it. So in terms of the actual cake sculpture, I won't be doing Moro's like entire wolf body. As you saw from the sketch, I'll just be doing her head, and this is actually pulled from a very specific scene closer to the end of the movie when her head is actually severed. It's a very creepy, very effective scene. It really blew my little 6th grade mind when I saw it, and that's probably why I'm making this cake today. So yes, I picked Moro over Princess Mononoke. Not that I don't like San, but Moro to me was a very powerful character. I didn't even know that she was like a female wolf. I really wasn't sure what I was watching. She just looked really scary. She looked like a villain. And I only knew to root for her because she was on like Princess Mononoke's side, right? But her character kind of represents like the conflicting nature of how there's no actual good versus evil. Everything is pretty fluid. Nothing is black and white and so on. I'm not going to try to do like an analysis of the whole movie, but that's probably why I'm drawn to her so much. Also, she was voiced by a very famous Japanese actor, singer, and drag queen named Akihiro Miwa. I only heard about him because of this movie, and I actually looked up some of his track listings, and he has a beautiful voice. It definitely gets more character as he had gotten older, and he did do Moro's voice when he was older. It was creepy to me as a kid, but now that I'm older, I mean, it's still haunting, but he has a very undulating voice. It's very distinct, and I think it's really gorgeous. It's kind of like a voice you would love to hear all the time, kind of like Ralph Ineson, just very deep and satisfying, even though it's kind of scary. Okay, this is where it gets a little weird. You saw me put in that wire, and that was to kind of support her upper jaw, and now it just looks like, I don't really know. It just looks really weird and wrong, but at least it was making me laugh. And I knew after seeing this, I really needed to flesh out her jaw ASAP because I really couldn't stand looking at that weird finger thing coming out of her skull. I slowly built up her upper and lower jaw, and it started to almost look like a dolphin and then slowly turned into an alligator. And it was making me really nervous because I'm just like, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm getting the wrong animal. Like, even here, it reminds me of the dragon from Dragon Ball Z. But I kept building up. I kept trying not to think too much about it, which is a habit that I just seem to love to do all the time. Here is when I realized I kind of made her neck a little bit too long. I needed to shorten it, and all I had to do was just kind of chop off the very end of it, including the part that was covered with modeling chocolate. It was not the end of the world, but I knew I would have regretted it if I didn't do it. I then got a darker color. This is that dark purple that I had originally wanted the sponge color to be, but I made it in modeling chocolate and covered the back of it. So that totally worked out. I mean, it's where her head is severed anyways. It shouldn't be white like her fur. That would make absolutely no sense. So I was pretty happy with that. Her ears are on, and she is finally looking like the beautiful wolf she is. Next up is her smile. You know, I love doing teeth. I feel like teeth is really what brings it all together, really makes my projects kind of pop. But it's also a step that I dread because it is very tedious, and modeling chocolate or fondant can get really sticky when you're trying to manipulate it, you know, more than it usually is. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, and yet it's somehow satisfying at the same exact time. The very inside of her mouth I made black because you're not going to really see it anyways. Her gums I made kind of a grayish purple color, kind of similar to that god blood that you see at the back of her neck, and then another layer of black, like kind of like when you see a dog's, like the inside of a dog's mouth, how it has different colorations, and it kind of makes it pop a bit more. Because I was working with that dark purple, I thought, hey, I might as well just add her nose, and this really made her look more like a wolf. I was glad I was not working with a dolphin or alligator no more. Oh, and can't forget the inside of her ears. All the little details matter a lot in the end. Hey guys, apologies for not being on the camera more. It's been kind of a crazy few days. I am still working on Moro's head, but at the same time, there's just other personal things going on, and the biggest one being that I'm moving. You can see all the boxes in the background. My Stitch Elvis. He vibrates, it's kind of weird. We're actually going to start the moving process this weekend. We're going to move a couple of things ourselves and go get the key Today is Wednesday, so it's a bit of a time crunch, and I definitely want to finish the cake because I'd rather have her be done before I kick up any more dust in this place. So hopefully I'll be able to finish in one round today. It is currently 1 p.m. I think 3 hours will be enough, but I always give myself way less time than I need. I guess you could say I'm optimistic, but yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty happy with her so far, but let's get all her details on. I actually ended up having to make another batch of white modeling chocolate, and lucky me, I bought the wrong color, but you know what, it's okay. I was gonna kind of cover up her fur with a lot of shading and gel food paint, so I wasn't too nervous about it. I just knew that I had to like kind of flesh out her neck way more. She isn't a normal wolf, she is a god wolf. We want to make her look a little bit more unnatural than what you'd see in nature. Okay, so I mentioned the teeth like 10 minutes ago, but now I'm actually applying the teeth, and it was a giant pain, but it was awesome. And the eyes go in, and at this point I feel like she kind of looked like the big bad wolf from those Disney cartoons. She definitely looks more cartoony than she does realistic, but I was still happy with it, as long as she looks a little creepy. Okay, now focusing on the back of where her neck, like the severed part of her neck should be, I decided to do that god blood. It kind of bubbles up in the movie a lot, so I tried to do that bubble effect as well. And of course the very last step was to paint her. And here she is. Apologies, I totally forgot to film this on my camera, so you can only see the footage that I took from my phone. Here are also some pictures to look at so you get a better idea of how she turned out. Yeah, I'm totally sorry about that. I think all the rushing just made me forget to film the very important parts, like the actual results. But here I am slicing into it, and here's that beautiful piece of red velvet. And yes, it was delicious. And that was my Princess Mononoke Moro cake. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I know it was pretty short, at least shorter than my other cake projects. There really wasn't too much going into her, but I did rush it a little bit, which I hate doing. But as you can see, I'm moving, just like how I mentioned earlier. So I really needed to get this cake out fast. I have a lot of other ideas coming up. I'm moving into a new house, a new kitchen. I won't be close or as close to all of the supplies I usually have because I live literally next to a Michael's right now, and that has been so convenient. So I'm sorry if the next one is delayed, hopefully not. But I'll just put that out there now. But thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. I would love to see you guys back, and hopefully see you next time. All right, bye.